Okay, hey folks, Gizmo here and welcome to this video. This is a review of Truck Driver and I am playing on PS4 Pro. So let's get into this. First thing I have to say is no, this game is not comparable to Euro Truck Sim 2. I see a lot of people asking that question in regards to this game, and to be honest, Euro Truck Sim 2 is vastly superior in every way, shape and form possible. That's not to say this game is terrible, but this game is very basic in comparison and it does have a lot of bugs and issues. Now I'm going to get into a few of these issues and try and keep this video as short as I can. Some of the bugs are just small little things, some of them are just annoying, and some of them are actually game breaking, but I'll get to them a little later. So let's get into this video and I'll just tell you kind of how I feel about it, because I kind of like this game but there are a few issues. So let's get to it. Now, the developers have said that this game is not a simulation, and that is true. However, there are some aspects of simulation still here that kind of makes me question why they didn't just expand on those. Like, for example, indicators, hazard lights, things like that are in the game but serve absolutely no function, so I don't understand why they're actually in the game. You actually have buttons mapped for the left indicator and the right indicator, but they serve literally no function, so I do not understand why they're even in the game. Personally, I would love to see the indicators serve an actual function, potentially as a way to increase or decrease the amount of experience and money you gain from jobs, depending on whether you use the indicators correctly or not. But again, that does fall into the realms of simulation, and the developers say that's not what they're going for here, so maybe it's something we'll see in the future, maybe not. The other problems I've had before we get to the actual game breaking stuff are a lot of, clipping into things that aren't there, getting stuck on things. A real big problem is that once you have a trailer or any form of cargo attached to the back of your truck, you cannot detach it, and there's a lot of invisible walls and things, just hitboxes badly lined up that you can get caught on and just stuck, and you cannot just reset your truck to the road, and you have to start the entire mission again, which is a real big pain considering how many times you're getting stuck on literally nothing. Now, next up is the traffic lights. Thankfully, there are not many traffic lights in this game because the map is so insanely small, and I will get to that in a second. But the traffic lights, a few of them as there are, they don't work properly. You will come to them, and unless you're aligned perfectly in the center of a lane, they won't change. They will just stay on red, forcing you to basically either reverse and maneuver yourself perfectly into the middle of a lane, or you will have to basically jump the red lights and get a €250 fine. Now, going back to what I said about the map being small, it's ridiculously small. I mean, it's actually kind of a joke how small the map is for this kind of game. Now, I don't mean that to be harsh, and I am fully aware that the developers have said they are bringing an expansion to the map. Fingers crossed that's free, because it should have been included with the game in my opinion. The map is crazy small. It consists of one freeway that loops around in the east, and then one mountain pass that kind of goes from the top of the freeway to the bottom of the freeway going around the west coast. The entire map, driving all the way around the outside, takes 15 minutes to encompass. I mean, for a truck driving game, that's kind of embarrassing. And I know it's a small developer, but still, like, this is a truck driving game. I don't want to be driving this same damn road every 5 minutes, which is literally what happens when you first get the game. When you first start playing, the first few missions just have you going up and down the same road over and over again, and by the time you've finished, you're just bored to death. Another thing that the developers are working on is an increase in the traffic, because the traffic just doesn't exist. You're never going to get stuck in a traffic jam in this game, because you will only see 6 or so cars on the road in every 5-minute period. The towns themselves are empty as well. Like, I would love to see like actual traffic jams, like, and actually have to be stuck in them. Like the intensity of maybe having no fuel, trying to get to a fuel station and you can't because you're stuck in a traffic jam, that would be great. That would add a little bit more fun to the game. But unfortunately, you will not see many cars on the road. Now, the developers have said that they are working on this, and we will see what happens, because the game seems to run okay now. Like, there's no real frame rate issues that I've noticed on my PS4 Pro. So we'll see what happens when they increase the amount of traffic on the roads, because it could bring those frame rates crashing down. We will see. Now let's get on to the game-breaking bug. Now, I must point out the developers are aware of this bug and they are planning to fix it. It's just a case of when that will happen. I am aware that they are a small developer, so it could take a while. But the problem is with the progression system. Now, in your menu you have a system which is called skills, and this is how you progress in the game. You basically, everything you do in the game is monitored. So every mile that you drive in a specific truck is monitored, and the skill tree will progress the longer you're driving that truck. Same with how long you've driven without crashing, or how many times you've delivered a certain type of cargo. These will all progress as you play through the game. However, they don't progress. They get to one point, and it's a different point for every single player, but for a hell of a lot of players, these are just freezing up. And once they're frozen up, they won't unfreeze, and you cannot progress through the game anymore. And it's a huge issue. It's happening to a hell of a lot of people. There are a few that have managed to not come across this bug, and lucky them. But for most people, myself included, the game just, the progression system just completely freezes up and will not work at one point. So it's a huge bug that, until it's fixed, basically just means that you're putting all this time into the game and you are getting nothing out of it. The progression is not happening. Now, hopefully, you won't have to start a brand new save when they update the game, but again, we don't know when that's coming. So this is a huge issue that, unfortunately, is actually just making the game somewhat unplayable for people. If you want to actually progress in the game, you cannot do it. Now, after all that, let's get to my final verdict. And it's a bit of a weird one, and I think it's based on the fact that there's nothing else like this on console, but I just like this game. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely hate how broken it is. I hate the stupidly small map. I hate the fact that the progression system is broken. But there's some charm here that I cannot deny. To be honest, the graphics are nothing special. The sound design isn't going to win any awards. In fact, the music in the game I don't even listen to. It got annoying very quickly. It's not terrible, but I didn't like it. So I cranked the volume down and I just put on my own playlist, and that's where I really started to enjoy this game. Just driving around listening to my own music was really fun. It could have been better with some of the changes that I hope are coming. For example, the traffic, bigger map, more varied map. It would really make my day if they would add some form of weather. It would be nice to drive around in the rain. There's nothing like that. There's a day and night cycle, and that's it. So honestly, in its current state, I would honestly give this game a 5 out of 10 at best, and that's not a bad thing, because in its current state it is not the best game out there. It's the only thing we've got of this type on console, so unfortunately we're stuck with it. But I honestly think this could be the foundation of something great. Think No Man's Sky, how far that game has come. And that's a small studio. Hello Games are not a big studio, so I'm really hoping. I don't expect this game to be as big as No Man's Sky. This is a very niche game, and certain types of people will want to play it and certain types of people will not. But it's so nice to have a break from the norm. The market is oversaturated with shooters and just the same crap over and over again that I crave games like this. So honestly, I think this game has the potential of being something great. I honestly do. In its current state, it is not there. But I can see how it could be there in the future. So like I said, I'm going to give this a 5 out of 10 in its current state. Once it's fixed, I may do another review, and honestly, I think if everything was fixed with a bigger map, more variety, more things to do, I think I could probably give it a 9 out of 10. But like I said, as it stands, it gets a 5 out of 10. If you have any questions about it, feel free to ask me, comment, like, subscribe, all of that stuff if you're interested. And other than that, thank you for watching, folks, and I will see you next time.